I mean, it fell about 4% at one point. The gross margins are only off by about 0.1%. Is it really that? Is it the warnings on products, on the overall cost base going up? Is it warnings on China?
I don't think anything fundamentally changed for the last quarter. I think maybe expectations are a little too high. We still have to wait for the call.
Yeah.
But just looking at it, we had the World Cup. Maybe sales there were higher than expected, and the gross margins on the World Cup merchandise can be lower. So that may have shifted the mix. So we really have to listen to the call and understand a little bit more.
But you didn't see anything in the report that suggests some change that fundamentally they're getting squeezed?
No. So all regions were higher than we expected, and higher from the fourth quarter, the fiscal fourth quarter. So the results on a fundamental basis looks positive.
Can we talk a little bit, though, about their website and just kind of this idea that we saw in the past couple of quarters where they're selling a lot more directly to the consumer rather than going through some of the traditional retail sites, and how that's maybe helping, push margins a little bit wider?
Right. So Nike, like any other brand, if you look at it, it's like content, right? It's like Netflix making their own content. So instead of you don't want to own the cables, you want to own the content. So Nike can develop all these multi-touch points with the consumer. It can do it through websites, through their app, through social media, where they get to book the full revenue and not the wholesale price, and better margins. So a strategy, it's going to work for them.
You mentioned the region, so solid everywhere?
Yes. So North America is up 6%, if I remember correctly, and it is stronger than the fourth quarter. The other region that I would focus on is China. That's still up 20% or a little more, which is very positive.
On the call, do you expect we're going to learn about any brand or sales impact from the controversy over Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some color, but in the end of the day, I think the net effect from that would be pretty much just media.
Yeah.
Nike sells 60% outside the U.S., and Colin Kaepernick is a big name in the U.S., but outside for the average Chinese consumer, maybe it's not a recognizable name. So I think the net impact on sales might be negligible.
Do you think they'll make any reference to trade concerns, a backlash from China in any way, or are they going to remain completely unaffected by what's happening between the U.S. and China relations?
So if tariff is going to go on finished goods, which we haven't seen so far, I think they're going to get affected. The issue is that right now we don't know how much of their goods are made in China and sold in the U.S. It's not something that they disclose. We know about 20% of the factories that they work with are located in China, so it's a big piece. I think we're going to learn more in the call on the potential exposure.